Welcome to the Financial Edge. I'm Erin Kennedy with Chris Hoffman today. Good to see you, Chris.
Good to see you.
Happy couples are also financially healthy. Today we are breaking down the key questions that you should be talking through to make sure you have a happy retirement together. Chris is the founder of Hoffman Financial Group, an Atlanta area firm that focuses on preparing people for a successful and happy retirement. Chris is also the popular radio show host of Money Unleashed, and Hoffman Financial Group is the official partner of the Georgia Bulldogs. Chris, I know you focus on holistic planning. That means getting couples in the office together to talk about what they want out of retirement. So you have a couple of suggested questions that couples walk through. Let's walk through the first one.
Okay.
You suggest they talk through what will you do together, what will you do separately?
Yeah. So you have hobbies that might be separate. Maybe one of the spouses is a golfer, but the other one likes to do lunches with friends.
Right.
Whatever they want independently, that's important. You have to be able to fund those and have money available for them. And that makes them happy and healthy as humans. And then you also want to have, what are we going to do together, right?
Yeah.
So that's a big topic. It's travel or spending time with grandkids or spending more time with the kids. As our kids get older, they move away from us sometimes. They're in different states. So when are we going to travel? What's the schedule look like? We're certainly in the heat in Atlanta, so during the heat of the summer, maybe you want to go someplace a little bit cooler. Or all this year, it's been pretty cold. So, but yeah, you need to work on things that are individual wants and needs, and then also joint.
Two other questions. How much money will you have saved for retirement, and how much are you willing to spend?
Yep. So I want my clients to spend a lot of money in the first 10 years of retirement. Typically, and this isn't the case with every client that I have, but typically clients are nervous in the first year or two or three, and they wait. They're waiting for a sign from the stock market. If we develop a financial plan, when their eyes get wide and I can see the light bulbs go off and they look at one another and they go, we can do this, that's the confidence I need to see when we develop a financial plan for them to move forward in retirement. You should be less stressed going into retirement versus working, not more stressed. You said happy and healthy. I want my clients very happy and very healthy with the financial plan we put together for them.
Right. You also suggest regularly discussing current and future income together. I know you know this, but studies show that couples with long-term financial happiness have joint financial discussions. I know so many people who avoid it, though.
Really?
It's so heated sometimes. It's hard.
Yeah, I understand that. And I do have couples that have varying thoughts on how they want their portfolios managed. So that can be different. One of the spouses may be more conservative than the other. One may be more aggressive than the other. A good financial advisor, I believe, can bridge that gap and make both of them feel secure that even the spouse that's aggressive, we're going to protect you. We've got enough on the other side, the lower risk profile assets. Or for the client or the spouse that is more conservative, we can convince the other more aggressive spouse that this is important because it allows us to, when the market's falling, we can dollar cost average and move that money back into the market. So it's almost like a mediator, if you would, on how to manage your finances together and generate income together and live the retirement you want to live.
Right. And that brings us to our third point, which I hope my husband is listening as well. Acknowledging differing needs and wants.
Yeah.
That's important whether you're talking about money or anything else.
Yeah, for sure. And I think that that's something that meeting with your financial advisor quarterly, you can air that to a third party. So it doesn't have to be contentious or uncomfortable for the couple. We can actually coach them through, okay, what does that mean you want to spend this amount of money on what? And we can look back at the plan and say, it's comfortably in the budget. So don't panic, the other spouse, don't panic over it. You can certainly afford to do this. It's already built into the plan. That roadmap means a lot because it's a stability point for both spouses to say, we're getting as much aggressiveness out of the portfolio and financial plan as we want, or the other spouse is saying, I'm getting enough protection and guaranteed or highly reliable income out of the portfolio that I require. Because no couples are the same, and very rarely do I have couples that say, we're on the same page, we want to be highly aggressive, or we're on the same page, we want to be highly conservative. It can be a mix of both, and I think that's healthy, actually.
Right, but then when you have that plan in front of both of them and say, this plan accounts for your needs here and allays your fears, I can understand how that helps bridge that gap, and having a third party to talk it through with you, again, removes kind of the emotions out of it sometimes.
That's right, and there's something to be said for them sitting with somebody that they view as an expert, right? So when I say it, it might land a little bit differently than if your husband said it to you. So bring him in, we'll talk. Or just give me his phone number, we'll talk.
That sounds good. And then I know that you have this discussion with clients, and I wonder, how often is it that they're coming in and you're asking these thoughtful and important questions, and it's the first time they're ever having this discussion together?
Oh, many, many times.
Yeah.
Some folks don't even know how to start the conversation, because unfortunately, financial planning is viewed as something that's more complex than it really is. Now, maybe I'm oversimplifying it because that's what we do for a living and have done it for decades, but I understand the point. It can be daunting to understand, where are we generating the income from? Whose assets are we going to distribute from first? How are we going to trigger Social Security? Do I trigger off of yours? Do you trigger off of mine? Do we both delay? Does one trigger early? So it does help to sit down with a financial advisor that can give you examples and a roadmap based on what you want your needs and desires to be during retirement.
And not to dance around the main point of this. When you're not stressed about money or your financial future, your marriage is happier, your relationship is happier, you're arguing less.
Yeah. Think about when you first got married and you started your family. That was financially stressful, right? For all of us.
Yes.
And you get to a point where you've amassed this wealth and you've worked this hard and you've stressed this long. A good financial advisory team should set you up to not sweat the money and not sweat where the income's going to come from. If they can't show it to you in writing, which we do with all of our clients, then they're not doing their job. So get the full financial plan in writing, run multiple iterations of it with different scenarios, and take them all home, and you and your husband or you and your wife sit and talk calmly about this plan, and this plan. Pick one, and then you've got somebody as your financial advisor who is accountable to deliver those results for you.
And when you come in for those quarterly meetings, it's easier each time.
Yeah, you get to know, you get in a rhythm with your clients.
Yeah.
I call it professional intimacy. So I'll know we're getting to that point of extreme comfort when a large portion of the conversation revolves around, how are the kids doing? How are the grandkids doing? What are your travels? Where did you take the river cruise to? That's a great feeling that we're connected, we're on the same page, and we're singing from the same sheet of music.
Absolutely. Well said, Chris. This was fun.